Okay, so everything that a human being is learned behavior. It is behaviors and habits that have been picked up uh, ex- over experiences, and they have been carried on generation, reinforced and carried on generation after generation. And so the habit gets engraved into our genetics or our DNA, and this carries on. That is the reason why you see that is the reason why we have things like hereditary sicknesses, physical sicknesses. There are hereditary issues that are carried out in the mind, what we call mental health issues. Okay, these are coming from a more older pattern, older experience that the current human being is carrying but is not completely aware of. So in this video I want to talk about patterns and cycles and what they are. Now we all know about karmic patterns or generational patterns. Like a very close example is that you look at the relationship that your parents have and you look at the relationships in your life. Okay, so the similar, if you want to call it trauma, then the similar, those similar traumas are being also carried out in our parents and hence also in us. Right. So we all know about this part of it. Like in this video, I do not want to be talking about all of that. This is a more bigger picture of all of this and the reason for all of it, what is happening, why it's happening, and what we can do about it. So we're not just looking at it from a 3D way is what I wanted to say. This is going beyond the 3D view of patterns and cycles. So what are they? We all have noticed that we carry certain traits, physical traits of our parents, in the things that we like, in the way that we respond, in the way that we think, in the way that we sit or we stand or we walk, talk, sleep. You see similarity between the parents and their children and the children and their siblings. Okay, so you see the similar behaviors. These are surface traits that we inherit from our parents. If we have inherited it from them, then they have inherited it from their parents and their parents, and so on. Right. Now, just like this, we also inherit energetic traits from our parents. These are the more hidden ones. This would show up in our behaviors, like our responses, our aggression, our traumas, our ability to face certain adverse situations that would seem adverse generally to people but not so much to the individual. Okay, these are traits that are coming from your parents, and they are inheriting it from theirs and theirs and theirs. These things, these traits are mostly, any kind of trait is mostly noticed in the outside, from the outside. When you are looking at another person, you will see their behavior, you will see the pattern, you will see the cycle. But it's very difficult to notice it or see it within ourselves. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. So we might hate on our parents for certain, things or restrictions or beliefs of the way they are, and all of these things. But we also carry that same behavior in different areas of our lives. So if in this area I see this behavior of yours and I do not like it, in that specific area I will not be that. But where it is comfortable in another area where it clashes with my beliefs, I will display the same, the rigidness or whatever that is towards that closed understanding, wherever it is. Right, so we do show up in different areas, but because it's a different area, it becomes hard for us to detect. So, how do we detect? The answer to this question is very simple: expanded awareness. That is the answer to the question. The more you expand your awareness on self, the more you see your negatives and you also see your positives. We are not really bothered about the positives because having a positive is a good thing and it's already doing good things for us, and it's good to build on them. But the negatives here are more important because this is actually where our strength is. Okay, the ability to face these adversities, the ability to think differently, to be different, and to act different in situations where nobody would. So we need to, like, these are the things that hold us back, the negatives. So it is important for us to work on the negatives so that we can reach our full potential. So that is the reason why the negatives are more important than the positives, and what we notice and the awareness about ourselves. Okay, so now how do we start? I think the very simple way to start this is by intention. Okay, what I have come to understand in this journey is the mind is everything. If we can understand the self, everything else is a reflection of the self. Okay, it becomes very easy to direct the outcomes. You might not have a hold on the timelines, but you do have a hold on the outcome. You can direct the outcome. So in my experience, like, if I have noticed that if you command the mind or wish for it, or like, simply talk to yourself and say, like, say suppose you notice something in somebody and you want to know if you have the same thing, maybe ask yourself, do I have the same thing? This asking triggers something in the mind that the next time you display this behavior, the mind will highlight it to you. Or the next time you haven't, say suppose you have healed from this, the next time you are in this opportunity and you do you take a different action, the mind will highlight that you could have done this, but this is not who you are. Does that make sense? Like, the mind highlights, it hits your consciousness, which triggers a, in that moment, it will tell you that this is what you might not be able to stop the reaction, but over time, over, like, the more aware you become that, this is the situation, this is how it triggers, this is what it triggers, this is why it triggers. The more you understand, the more situations you face like that, the more you will understand. The more understanding you have, the more mastery you have, and the more mastery you have, you are able to stop the reactions in the moment. You are able to notice this happening in the moment, so you can make a different change, break the cycle, break the pattern. Why do we need to break the cycle? We don't need to anything, really. Like, there is nothing here. Actually, if you realize, as a human being, there is, you don't need to have to anything about anything. At this point, if you are doing anything, it is only for the self. Okay, because you as a person want to be better, you as a human being want to evolve, you as a human being want to understand what it is that you are actually here to do, what it is that your soul is calling you here to do, what it is that, who it is that you actually, this human being actually is, right? So this is all for the self at this point. So if you feel like the patterns that you are carrying, the cycles that you have are working for you, and you're fine with your life and fine with everything that is happening, then, and you don't need to change or break anything, then good for you. It's not a bad thing. Maybe your parents have done the work, so you don't need to, you just need to carry forward that energy in and see how you can make it better from there. it is not the same for all of us, right? The rest of us. So, for the rest of us, we need to see those patterns that hold us back and we need to break them. Okay, we need to do the work so that we can intentionally set the course for a better future, for a more evolved human being, a more evolved generation to come. And though this is a very collective thing, it is actually in the hands of each individual only. So that is what I wanted to talk about. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. Love and light. Bye.